about selling insurance. I mean, you should learn some of this stuff, but it's more important to learn about the people and really care about their success. People ask me all the time, what's the difference between recruiting and building? Recruiting is sharing our information. Hopefully they can make a logical decision. We just ran an illustration against Transamerica, very big company out there. They did $500 million in life sales last year. So this is just to give you a glimpse at how big the market is. On our illustration, same dollars, their client retired on $15,000 a year. Ours was $50,000 a year. So it's no competition out there at this time. But we're really not into selling insurance. We're into building people and selling the dream and hope and opportunity. Now, what does that mean? Because it sounds kind of corny to some people. But go ask Andre Moa, who 7 years ago was flipping hamburgers and made $100,000 last month. You think that's hope? You think that's an opportunity? You think that's a dream for him and his family to do what they want when they want to do it? And the only way that starts is with you and one other person that believes in this business as much as you do, wants it as bad as you do. And you got to become a student of the business. Doctors don't get paid $100,000 a month to do surgery. I mean, lawyers, most of them starve to death. So it's a profession, it's a career, and you need to learn what's going on in it. And right now, you have the opportunity for the best income writer in all the products in the land. We have it in Phoenix. We have other great products. They're one of my favorites because they give the most back to people for the same amount of money. So listen very closely. Just learn a few little one-liners. You know, you got the old kind, new kind, tax-free versus taxable. All that gets people's attention because, look, there's never been more people in the richest country in the world retiring broke. Somebody needs to educate the clients about the best thing for them to do with their money. There's never been a time in our history where more people are hurting financially. Average household income down $5,000. In our industry, we had over 30 people make $1 million the last 2 years. Think about that. Go put in your job application like me with a PE degree, and I ain't petroleum engineering. It took 5 years to get it out in 4 years school, but I had a desire and wanted to be somebody. So take notes. We care about all of your success. I put myself out there with three-way calls with people all the time. Don't let anybody intimidate you because mathematically we win every time. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Bill back.
Okay, thank you, Ron. And once again, I want to welcome everybody to the call. I hope everybody took all that information that Ron Blumenkemper has just given you. We have a jam-packed 2 hours here, and we're going to give you as much information as possible. With that, I want to introduce our special guest speakers, and I'm going to turn the controls over to them now. Let me just, here we go. Okay. So before I introduce them, I just want to let, and we can see your screen on that side there, Andy. Before I introduce Andy and Jeff, I just want to let everybody know that over the last decade, and probably more than a decade, I've known Andy, but over the last 5 to 10 years, Freedom Equity Group has been working very close with Untitled and Associates in working on annuities, building the sales force. And I've noticed that there's a great deal, not only of just monies being left on the table, but they have a great deal of resources. They have incredible presentations with and without voice that are approved in your cities and states. They have the best calculators. They have the one-stop shop on super agent tools. And I noticed that the agents that utilize super agent tools and take full access and use the back office, they use Jeff Swick's knowledge, they use Jennifer Beam's knowledge to help them with their clients. Those agents write a lot more, maybe 3 to 4 to 5 to 10 times more production than the average agents who don't utilize the tools that are there to help the clients understand a little bit more. So I encourage everybody to become a part of just not learning. And there's hours and hours and hours on super agent tools just on the education, but start utilizing these tools to really increase your business. And with that, I want to introduce my very good friend and business associate now for over a decade, owner of Unkefer and Associate, with him and his counterpart, Jeff Swick, who is in charge of all of the FEG back office service. We really appreciate you guys taking your time out on a Saturday, being away from your families to be a part of this webinar, and dedicating 1 weekend a month, every single month, for probably for the next decade that we're going to be working together until we all decide that we're going to retire and start enjoying life, which I understand that Andy's never going to retire. So Andy, take it away, and let's see, and let's really get a handle on the superiority of your back office and why it's so important that all the Freedom Equity Group agents really start using it for the annuity business. Take it away.
Well, Bill, thank you very much for the introduction. I really appreciate it, and we're excited about everybody being on the call today. We have a great deal of opportunity out here in the market. We're going to tap into the big problems that affect successfully growing wealth and enjoying your retirement, and then we're going to focus on products that help you achieve people's financial goals while avoiding the trouble that's out there. Before we do that, though, Bill had mentioned superagenttools.com. I've got it up on the page right now. I'm in my resource area under the topic of annuities, and you've got a really robust universe here of calculators that you can use to develop presentations from. This is the same exact tools that our own back office, who helps you, utilizes, but you can use it to also when you're online logged into Super Agent Tools. A lot of good calculators. There's direct links to some of the leading income calculators in the country, including one of the products we're going to highlight today at Phoenix Life, which I'm hovering over right now. You'll see the #1 income product in the nation in just a bit. Also, we've got terrific forms and documents that can help you generically get your client moving along the lines of doing great planning. One of our most popular forms is our client data form. Agents are downloading that and using that consistently to identify the needs of a client. It's really conducting a thorough needs analysis, and this increases your production. This is one of the reasons that agents who use Super Agent Tools produce more business. We actually track the agents as you log in. We know how many times you logged in, and we compare that data across all agents nationally. There's right now per month over 1,400 users that enter Super Agent Tools, and over 390 new agents enter it every single month. So it's really expanding rapidly, but the interesting thing is, and you kind of touched on it, Bill, the producers who log in regularly and tap in to the calculators, the forms, the sales training, the download-ready consumer presentations, along with seminar systems and handouts that you can use when you're in front of clients, those agents far outproduce the agents who rarely, if ever, log into the system but still make sales with us. So it has a leveraging effect, and that's just a quick buzz by. There's a whole universe there at Super Agent Tools to help you grow your business. So let's talk about some realities out there in America today. I'm going to show you right now different websites that I just simply used Google and looked up my topics, and then I'm going to show you a presentation that is backed up by this information that I have on screen. The first thing I want to talk about is market volatility. What I'm showing you right now is the S&P 500 index over the last year. As you can see, the S&P price index has changed quite a bit. Unfortunately, it's down from where it's been. It's down from its high point, which was about, gosh, when was that? It looks like July of last year. It had reached its peak, and now it's moved down quite a bit. So a substantial negative movement, but we always hope the market's going to rebound. But volatility can be a big impact on people, and I'll kind of talk about that in just a second. The point is that people are aware of volatility. It's out there. There's trillions of dollars connected to the stock market right now inside of IRAs and retirement accounts, $17 trillion to be exact. And what we see is that there's an alternative option that we can offer that takes advantage of volatility but doesn't get penalized by volatility. And Jeff Zwick's going to teach us about a product that can accumulate extremely well in a volatile environment. Now, for those of you who are sick of volatility and you want to go to safety, I just went to bankrate.com. I selected CD rates. These are 5-year certificate of deposit rates, highest yield in the nation, 2.25%. Well, that doesn't get anybody excited, does it? I mean, we don't go into CDs just to earn a low interest rate. In fact, many people believe, and I think it's pretty easy to justify this, those CD rates are at or below the rate of inflation. So you're losing ground while paying taxes on your certificates of deposit. So low yields are another challenge for retirement. And then we're living longer, and it's causing things to happen. Rising cost of health care. You can easily look up healthcare costs and find charts and all kinds of information. I found this article. More than 1/6 of the U.S. economy is devoted to healthcare spending, and that percentage continues to rise every year. It's already 1/6 of the economy, and you can look at the charts right here. Here's the this was a congressional chart that was put up during a testimony, and the top growth of all sectors of the economy is medical care costs. So that is going to make a successful wealth-based retirement more of a challenge. And we're living longer than ever before. This is sort of a heat map of life expectancies, and it does show you a couple things. One thing that jumps out at me is how good we've got it here in the United States and in North America, where you see life expectancies up around 80 years or better, and you can see how difficult it is in the third world countries. Some of the countries in Africa are still around 45 to 50 years of life expectancy. That's sad to see. We do have it good in America, but when you live longer, guess what? Your money has to last longer, and that's why Ed's lifetime income benefit rider is a key for people to have at the Phoenix Life Companies, and we'll examine that. You can find all kinds of data on life expectancy in countries that are even living longer than the United States, like Japan and Switzerland, for example. Life expectancies are going to continue to improve. And one of the other things that eliminates or can harm your retirement is taxation. Here's the latest tax brackets. Just on federal taxes, you can end up in a 39% tax bracket, 39.6. And then if you're in states like California, you're basically paying half of every dollar that you earn to a taxing authority because you worked hard and made an income. You've got to find ways to shelter money from the exposure of erosive taxation, and we've got products that do that. So let's go into my presentation now. I call it Avoiding the 5 Retirement Time Bombs. The reason I went through those websites is to show you how easy it can be to build a presentation with people. So let's get into this presentation. Volatility. Markets rise and fall on a daily basis. If you access your money at the wrong moment, it can dramatically affect how long your retirement dollars last. I mean, look at those peaks and valleys. What if you had to make a withdrawal later on in life to supplement your income when the volatility is on the negative side of the performance? That means you're going to take a disproportionately larger share of your money out, and it could cause your retirement to exhaust even faster. And you know, when you're in a volatile environment and you're riding the financial roller coaster, it can make it difficult to hit a financial bullseye on your retirement goals. You know, it feels like your goals are shifting around and moving because you're in a volatile environment. We're going to look at a solution for that. And sometimes people are already there. They say, hey, I am fed up with volatility. Give me some safety and stability. Excuse me for just a second. I got a little choked up there. All right, so many savers, when they do this, they say, I want to go for safety and stability. They find themselves subject to unacceptable low returns with little, if any, real opportunity to grow their assets. Their interest rates shrink, and we saw that with the current CD rates. You know, the retirement landscape in America is changing. The fact is people live longer than ever before, and this places pressure on the U.S. retirement system. This also makes planning the use of your financial resources today a higher priority than ever before. Today, 78 million baby boomers will turn age 65 by 2025. That's just 10 years away. And guess what? 68% of these people will need assistance with daily living activities. They're going to experience impairments. It's a statistical fact. Nearly 7 out of 10 Americans are going to be in a situation where they're going to need assistance, and when you need assistance, your costs rise dramatically. You have to have products and financial solutions to cover that. Today, 1 in 7 seniors now require in-home care. As people age, their annual financial burden to support medical care costs continues to rise. This chart's from Forbes magazine. You can see as you age how the costs rise. In fact, by the time you're 80 to 90 years old, you're spending between $40,000 and $45,000 a year just for medical care, not for the rest of your medical expenses. That can put a big burden on people, and we need some ideas on how to tackle that. And of course, taxes. We already mentioned that. The U.S. government spending now far outpaces collected annual tax revenue, and this deficit is projected to continue to grow as the cost of Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security accelerates. You know, a lot of people complain about welfare programs. I hear people complain about how much money we spend on the military. But the fact is, Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security exceed 50% of the federal government budget. The fact is that these overshadow any other expense categories in America. And it's because we've made these promises to people when they turn age 65 that they get these benefits. And as those benefits are paid out to a record number of baby boomers, you have a gap between tax collection and government spending. And so as the government spending outpaces the government's revenue, the appetite for higher and higher taxes is simply a foregone conclusion. It's a natural outcome. So let me ask you some questions. Is there a way to eliminate unnecessary and potentially harmful volatility? Can you grow your money with competitive returns while keeping these precious assets safe? And is it possible to assure your resources will last throughout your lifetime? Can you have ready cash for those rising medical care costs when they kick in? And is it possible to do all of these things while eliminating or reducing your exposure to rising taxes? Well, the answer is yes, but it's not through a single individual financial product. It's by planning and using financial products that accomplish specific goals for specific purposes and specific moments in time. And that's where we can help you at our office, is finding the products that accumulate very well for a wealthy retirement, that utilize volatility but don't get harmed by it, to show you how to grow a fantastic lifetime income benefit that lasts as long as the client does. And then, of course, with your life insurance products, you can create tax-free benefits that are really unmatched by any other financial product in the U.S. That's how we do it, is by working together and finding planning solutions. So let's stand on the solid foot of planning. Using guaranteed financial products, you're actually able to increase your ability to hit your retirement goal. Instead of being in volatility, eliminate volatility. And remember that bullseye, how it was moving around? You know, if your financial goal feels like it's hard to hit, it may be that it's not your goal that's moving around, it's your money that's moving around. You're riding in a roller coaster trying to hit a bullseye, and it's difficult to do. But if you were to step off that roller coaster and put your financial resources into a safe, secure environment, you can soundly approach your goal and hit a bullseye. And safety and returns. You know, innovative insurance products allow you to achieve higher overall performance and get more interest without being exposed to volatility. We've proven it with our fixed indexed annuities over the last 20 years. They have beat traditional fixed rates, and you haven't had a negative exposure due to volatility. And remember those rising healthcare costs? I mean, that's a pretty sobering chart. What do we do about it? We can use leverage. So here's how it works, gang. By leveraging the value of your assets, using your own life expectancy, it is possible to strategically increase your resources at the right moment. You can actually assure that your resources will last as long as you do, and you can leverage your assets to receive substantially more money for medical care costs right when you need it most. Today we're going to actually learn about annuity products that can double your money for physical impairments when you become sick. And you can get this additional money paid out for a very long time, causing you to have much more resources than you otherwise would have had. And it's great to work with qualified money, retirement money, or non-qualified money. So it's a great bridge to help get those benefits prior to buying any life insurance policies. So it is possible. You know, today's financial instruments offered through America's leading insurance groups can really allow you to take advantage of substantial tax benefits, including tax deferral throughout your lifetime and even access to federal income tax-free benefits. So let me give you some more information about how we do this, gang. Let's target the right markets. You know, when we're out there working nationally in the financial services segment of the insurance industry, it's good to know where the resources are and the challenges are so we can help the most people. For starters, there's $2.6 trillion sitting in money market funds earning little, if any, interest at all. That's a low yield exposure that you can help people avoid. There's more low yields. Over $10.8 trillion are sitting on deposit in banks earning near or below 1%. It's just shocking. And there's over $11 trillion in mutual funds riding the market roller coaster. You know, that's just mutual funds. It's not even counting individual stock portfolios or bond holdings. This is just mutual funds alone. Altogether, it's over $24 trillion of movable assets that you can help people eliminate the 5 challenges that I've been talking about. And as you drill deeper into this, you'll find that 70% of the money, or $17 trillion, is sitting in qualified funds. You know, when you're selling life insurance, some of the most difficult money to use to buy life insurance is qualified money, because people pay taxes prior to buying life insurance when they use their qualified funds. Why not move them in a tax-free transfer with their retirement account into another retirement account that has additional benefits that help those people achieve their goals? Remember the taxation, the government spending, and our tax revenue, it just doesn't match up. Ask people this question: do you believe taxes are going to be higher or lower in the future for you and your family? If they say yes, tell them it's possible to reduce or even eliminate your growing tax burden. Would you like to sit down and meet on that topic? And so now we've dealt with volatility, low yields, the fact that we're living longer, the rising cost of health care, and the burden of looming taxation and the growth of taxes in the future. We can tackle all those if you'll sit down with us together and do some planning. Let's conduct a thorough evaluation of your financial position. You can get the thorough needs analysis from Super Agent Tools, get to the forms, download the client data form, and then meet with our staff, talk to Jeff Zwick and his team to get case designs prepared to eliminate those financial goals. So I think that sets the table pretty well, and what I'd like to do now is turn over the presentation to our Vice President here at our office. That's none other than Jeff Zwick, and Jeff's going to talk about Fidelity and Guarantee Life, a great accumulation product where you can benefit from the upside volatility and not be penalized by the downside volatility. This product's offered by Fidelity and Guarantee Life. They've been around for many, many decades, a financial powerhouse. And so, Jeff, take it away.
Thanks, Andy. Hello, gang. It's nice to have all you here on a Saturday. I really appreciate the opportunity to come over here and just go through a great product and just kind of go through the ins and outs of it quickly. But one thing I want to say, I've heard Andy do this presentation many, many times, and it's just every time I hear it, it's just phenomenal. And the way that he just talks about the tax burden and everything associated with it, just a great presentation. So I'm glad you folks got a chance to hear and see that. So today we're going to talk about a great accumulation product, and I get the opportunity to deal with quite a few of you Freedom Equity Group agents in the past. And one of the things that I've noticed in the last several weeks is getting calls from Freedom Equity Group agents and saying, hey, Jeff, I've got a 62-year-old client with, hypothetically $150,000, and really what they're interested in doing is just building accumulation. They have enough money. They're not looking for an income stream. They just want to put it into something where they know that their money is going to grow nicely. And those of you that have worked with me in the past, this has always been my go-to product when it comes to that accumulation play, the Performance Pro by Fidelity and Guarantee. And let's get into it. So it's built for accumulation and the power of choice, and really it's got three different reasons why you should be purchasing this product. Accumulation, it's got a guaranteed income for life, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And then if that's chosen, it gives you impairment protection. So with that, the accumulation comes with an uncapped strategy and has the potential for a 9% bonus, 9% vested bonus, and I'll go through that in just a second. On the guaranteed income for life, it has power of stacking, and I'll also talk about that, how it takes not only a compounded roll-up rate, but that it also stacks the interest credited in one of the uncapped strategies that we'll go through in just a second. And then, like I said, if that is purchased, that income rider, then it gives you the potential, the opportunity to double your income to be able to pay, if you can't perform 2 of 6 ADLs, to help with that. So the first thing we're going to talk about is this is really what makes this product an accumulation product, is the Dow Jones U.S. Real Estate Risk Control Indice. It's a great brand. It's built for performance, and it's transparent. The nice thing about it is you can see the ticker and this link right here to where you can go on daily, weekly, monthly, whatever, and you can see how this indice is performing. So a little bit about this indice and everything. I want to just talk about this first on the uncapped strategy. This is where it really comes into play for an accumulation part of this. So this is an uncapped strategy, meaning that you have the potential to gain up to 20%. In the last 12 months, this strategy, this indice, returned 19.02% gain on the accumulation value. So also associated with this is a spread, not a fee, but a spread. So remember, a fee, you're always going to be charged that fee, if you have an income rider or whatever it is, on a fee. If it's a spread, if the market has a positive gain, the spread is going to be associated with it. If the market has a negative, goes negative, then you're not going to be hit with that spread. So the spread is a 18.25% over 5 years. So this indice, this Dow Jones Real Estate Risk Control Indice, is a 5-year reset. So what that means is, if your client uses, say, 50%, allocates 50% into this indice, it will not show the interest credited for every 5th year, for every 5 years. So on their policy statements, when you meet with them and do an anniversary review, they won't see interest credited to this from this indice allocation in year 1, 2, 3, or 4. But then all of a sudden, they're going to see a great amount of interest credited to this indice in the 5th year. So every year, it's also getting a 3.65% spread taken out of it. So back to what I was saying before, it averaged 19.02% in the last 12 months, minus 3.65. It's still crediting over 15.5% to that account value. So that's where there's the real opportunity for this being a great accumulation product. But this product is also really built for diversification. So as you can see, there's 5 other indices, allocations that you have the ability to utilize. You got the monthly point-to-point, an annual point-to-point, a 2-year point-to-point, 3-year point-to-point, and a gold annual point-to-point, which has been doing very well also. So what we've been doing when we're illustrating this, Jennifer and I in our office, when you guys are calling me and say, hey, Jeff, run me a Performance Pro, generally what I do is put 50% into the uncapped, 25% into the monthly point-to-point, and then 25% into the gold. And so then when you go and look at that hypothetical illustration, you're going to see that the gold and the monthly are going to show the returns right away after the first year, second year, third year, and fourth year. But then in the fifth year, all of a sudden you're going to see this big boom. You're going to see all this interest credited to it, because that's when the uncapped strategy is now being applied. So like I said, it's great for diversification. And the thing is, your client, if you really think about it, they don't want to receive a policy statement that when you sit down and do an anniversary review with them, which all of you should be doing, obviously, that doesn't show any interest credited whatsoever. So it's nice for them to see, okay, I was able to, I got this much from the gold, this much from the monthly point-to-point, and then what I showed you on that ticker, you have that link that you can go on, or your client can go on and check kind of what the status is of the uncapped. And like I said, the last 12 months, it returned 19.02%, and over the last 5 years, it's averaged well over 10.73, I think is what the number is. So that minus the spread is a great, great accumulation play. There's no other product that we're working with right now, gang, that offers that kind of returns from an accumulation standpoint. So this is what that product's built for. But, so I already talked a little bit about diversification. You've got the real estate. You've got monthly point-to-point in the S&P. You've got some gold, the gold indices. So there again, just lots of things to choose from and be able to move those allocations around to really take the full advantage of everything that's offered from the accumulation standpoint. Now, let's get into the income play a little bit. It does have an income rider, and I'm going to kind of go through how the income rider works. If you choose to purchase the income rider, so say that your client really just wants the product for accumulation, but maybe down the road might want to take a look at income. And remember that it also offers the doubler effect. So if your client's going to want that doubler effect where they can't perform to 680 Ls, they obviously have to purchase the income rider. So if they purchase the income rider, and only if the income rider is purchased with this product, they will receive a 9% vested bonus on top of their accumulation account. It's ages 0 to 75 is 9%, 76 to 80, excuse me, is 4.5%. So they've got the best of both worlds. And the roll-up, the compounded roll-up rate for this product, on the illustration that you can see in front of you right now, it's actually showing at a 4% compounded roll-up rate. That just got dropped to 3.5 this week. So I wasn't able to get a new illustration put in here, but when you call the office and talk to Jen and I, we can run one for you, kind of showing what that new compounding roll-up rate would be at 3.5%. But the really cool thing about this, gang, is with this product, it's growing at a 3.5% every year compounding roll-up rate, but if you choose the Dow Jones Real Estate Risk Control Indice, remember the interest is credited in the 5th year, they will stack that. They will take that interest that's credited to the account value, and they will apply that to the income account value every 5th year. So not only are you getting the 3.5% compounding roll-up rate, you're also getting that interest that was credited on the account value from that uncapped strategy added to that. So you have the best of both worlds. You got a great accumulation product, and you've got a really solid income product. And like I said, if they choose to purchase the income rider, they have the ability, if they can't perform 2 of 680 Ls, that it will double the income if it's a single, and 1.5 times if it's a joint. And the way that works, unlike some of the other companies that just, they'll double it for 5 years, and then at the end of the 5 years, it reverts back to the original income, F&G will continue to pay that as long as they need it, or until the account value is depleted. So if it takes 8 years, 9 years, 10 years to do that, or even longer, they're going to continue to pay that double for that length of time. Then it reverts back. So it's a little bit stronger, in my opinion, doubling effect just from that standpoint there. So you can see the income rider quote in front of you, and it just kind of talks about, what the $9,252 after the 10th year is what the client is going to get for the rest of their life. And if they can't perform, this must be a joint, I'm thinking, because it's only doing 1.5%. where it's doubling, as you can see in the red, it's 16,197. So this must be a joint. So it's going to do 1.5 times to be able to pay them $16,197 to be able to, whether it be nursing home, home health care, whatever they need that for, if they can't perform 2 of 6 ADLs. So that's just a great play right there. This one, yeah, I'm not sure how this is working, but I'm thinking that this is the one where it's showing that it's twice the amount on the withdrawal. Also the same thing, being able to pay for those 2 of 6 if you can't perform the 2 of 6 ADLs.
It's showing is, yeah, let me jump in there. So, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, what we've got here, gang, is a example of the illustration of guaranteed values and projected values.
That's right.
So you've got in the first column that's highlighted there a 4% minimum guarantee that's going to grow within the income account. It can never be less than that, and that's where you trigger all your benefit values, including the doublers and so on that Jeff was talking about. That strategy, so I'll let Jeff run with it, but the different strategies credited over different periods of time some pretty wild performances. So what it shows is the most recent time, a low period of time, and then a high scenario.
Yeah, so going back to what I was saying before, this is based, they're able to project and illustrate from a hypothetical standpoint. So it's going to show like Andy was saying, recent, low scenario, and high scenario, what those effects, what those doubling effects could be on that income to be able to pay for the, not being able to perform 2 of 6 ADLs. So that's another thing that I really like about F&G and this product is the way that they are able to illustrate on the back history on what it's been doing. And like I said, the last 12 months, it's proven. It credited 19.02%. So that's one of the things I really like, many things I like about this product. So kind of back to summary about this product, it's really got 3 different plays within it. The accumulation is the big one, the guaranteed income for life, and the impairment protection. It's on a 10-year chassis. It's a 10-year product with a 10-year surrender schedule, obviously. It's got a 9% vesting bonus, but remember, gang, that this is only applied if the income rider is purchased. If your client's just going to choose it for accumulation, they will not receive that 9% bonus, ages 0 to 75 and 4.5, 76 to 80. So it gives them the option, one way or the other. And the great part about this product in the accumulation side of it is it has that uncapped strategy. This thing is phenomenal. Like I said, this is when you guys call me, and those that have worked with me in the past, and they say, Jeff, I need an accumulation product, this is the first one I'm looking at, the first one I'm going to. When you guys call me up and say, hey, Jeff, my client wants to turn income on in the first year too, the first one that those that have worked with me, I look at Phoenix and that personal income annuity, and Ed Friederisi is going to talk about that in just a second. So we've got some really great products for both plays, whether it be accumulation or whether it be income. This thing has got proven performance. And I've got some information here at the office on my desktop, so give me a call, and I'll send you what it's done in the last 5 years in the breakdown, what this uncapped strategy has done, and you can show your client that. You can say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Client, here's the proven fact of the last 5 years, what this indice has credited on the account value. And it's just it's a strong way to be able to show them and get a good sale through this. And like I said, diversification, not only does it have the uncapped strategy that is performing extremely well, it's got 6 other indices to be able to choose from. So like I said, this is a product you want to diversify with. Put 50% into one, 25%, 25%. Mr. or Mrs. Client will be able to see that on their policy statement when you sit down and do an anniversary review, and then be able to check on a weekly, monthly, whatever they want to see how that uncapped strategy is performing. And it's got the power of stacking. That's the cool thing. Like I said, any interest that's credited in that uncapped strategy, if the income rider is purchased in the 5th year, will be applied to that as it's growing 3.5% and compounding every year. So it's got a great accumulation play, a great income play, and for living benefits, it's got the doubling effect. I mean, this is a win-win-win product, gang. It is just unbelievably phenomenal, and we have seen sales just skyrocketing, especially with Freedom Equity Group agents and we really appreciate you giving it an opportunity. And there again, I've worked with a lot of you guys. I want to hear from all of you. I want to be able to sit down, take the information, we'll put together a case design, walk through with, all that kind of stuff and help you get that sale closed. So very excited about everything. One more thing, like I talked about on the doubler, it'll double your income on the impairment protection, two times on a single, 1.5 on a joint, so the best of all worlds. So thank you very much, gang. I really appreciate the time and look forward to doing this once a month with you. Like Bill was saying, we're going to do this on a Saturday about once a month, and I appreciate the opportunity.
All right, everybody. That was great, Jeff. Thank you. We now have learned a little bit about this F&G product. A couple other things that I would just poke at here. One is it shows great accumulated value performance because people might be willing to think longer term. If you look at those various accumulation values, these are hypothetical performances based on different historical data from different periods of time, but the worst they're ever going to grow their income value at is 4%. The hope is that they do much better, and that comes from tapping into that long-term 5-year bucket that Jeff described with the real estate risk control index. It's by harnessing that volatility on the upside and sitting it out on the downside that causes that to really occur. And now we're going to focus on a product that provides the maximum income benefits. We actually test this product against all other income planning products in the U.S., and it comes out on top virtually every single time. So it's from Phoenix Life. It's called the Personal Income Annuity, and I'm going to turn the controls back over to Bill St. Clair's desktop, and then Ed Frederici from Phoenix Life will be taking over at this time. So Ed, can you hear us?
You sure can.
Bye, everybody.
Can you see the...
All right. Okay, so we still need to see your screen. I'm not seeing it just yet.
How about now?
Let's take a look. We've got you. Okay, so everybody, this is Ed Frederici from Phoenix Life. Guys, our schedule is pretty tight here at our end. We're going to leave the presentation going, of course, but Jeff and I are signing off right now, so we just want to say thank you to Bill, to Ron, to Petro, to Ed, and the rest of the people from Freedom Equity Group, including every agent on this call. Thank you for doing business with us. We look forward to serving you on Monday morning.
All right. Hey, thank you guys very much. And I'm actually, this is Ed Federici, Managing Director with the Phoenix Companies. I'm sitting here in Houston after a really exciting FEG meeting last night and today. Actually just got done doing this exact presentation to a packed room of FEG folks here today. And I invited them and I'm inviting you to join the Annuity Crusade. And so Andy's presentation went through just a ton of the foundation, the context and perspective as to why you'd want to look at an annuity. What are the client benefits, right? So even if you're focused on selling life insurance and that's your hub, that's your core for building your practice and your business, there's still a lot that you can do to help the client above and beyond that with some simple, very simple questions. And so some of these slides, I'm going to take you through some context and perspective, but then I'm going to get into our personal income and annuity product and tell you why the Unkerford Group and Freedom Equity Group is so high on this product. Number one, if you look at the rollover space, so this is, when clients have a 401k or a 403b and they retire, they roll that money over, or if they change jobs, they roll that money over. And while Andy indicated there are trillions of dollars out there, right? This is another complementary area to look at above and beyond CDs or money markets, right, or assets that are in brokerage accounts. So this is actually a very complementary presentation to what Andy and Jeff just did. So $393 billion was rolled over in 2012, right? That is projected to grow to nearly $575 billion in 2016. And think about the experience that our clients have been having, whether they're in a brokerage account or if they're in a 401k, right? Everything has been going up. The S&P a few months ago crossed 2,100. It set an absolute record. So our clients, they don't have to be smart they just happen to be in the market, and they all are feeling like Warren Buffett, right? So I can't believe this is happening to me. Stocks set record highs today. 9 out of 10 forecasters agree. Great days ahead. And that's the point. Clients take their most recent experience and project that out into the future. Okay? So they think this past bull run is just going to keep going and going and going. And the point is that bull markets follow bear markets and bear markets follow bull markets. And if we don't talk to our clients now about taking some risk off the table, taking some chips off the table, right? This is what they're going to look like. I can't believe this is happening to me, because we all know that there's going to come a time where the market's going to correct, and that's natural and it's good. But if you haven't had that discussion about taking some risk off the table, this is how our clients are going to feel. And if they're down, right before they retire or during retirement, if there's a significant movement, guess what? Perhaps their lifestyle in retirement is not going to be as comfortable as they hoped. And here's proof. So that's a story. And by the way, those slides I created in 2001. So that story, this story is about 15 years old. So we've seen this movie before, and we know how it ends. And here's the proof as to the overconfidence and complacency of our clients. This is when they do a rollover, right? This is where they place the assets: stock funds, managed accounts, individual stocks, ETFs. 78% of the assets are in the market. Now, this is just in rollovers. I mean, think about what they're doing in the brokerage side of things. There's trillions. So a simple question. Maybe you sold them a life insurance policy. Where are your retirement assets? Have you thought about taking some risk off the table? Have you thought about taking some chips off the table? Do you even know what funds you're in, what vehicles you are in? You can ask some very simple questions, and clients don't know. I mean, they're not equipped to make these picks and make these decisions. So by asking those simple questions and then saying, well, doesn't it make sense? I mean, we're protecting your life with a life insurance policy. We have living benefits. Would you like to learn more about some living benefits to protect your retirement assets? I mean, you've saved your whole life. It would be a shame if there's a correction in the market and you're not able to have that retirement that you would hope for. And what's incredible is that 14% of the assets, right? So this is the big issue. 78% of the assets are exposed to the market. This is also pretty huge. 14% of the assets are in things like checking accounts. What? So you've saved your entire life, and you have this IRA rollover. It could be $250,000, and clients are putting it into their savings or checking accounts. What are they earning on that? So great opportunity for all of us. In fact, I would suggest this is a turning point. This is a pivot point for our clients and our careers in building out assets or building out our business. And the point is, I won't go through all of this, but the key fact is that retirement has changed, right? So this is not our grandparents' retirement. These new products, they're not our grandparents' annuities. These are significantly enhanced and different than they were in the past. So people think annuities, they think, well, all the money goes to the insurance company. If I die, the insurance company gets it. No longer the case, right? Those are called SPIAs, and those make sense in certain spots, but these are the new fixed index annuities that have all sorts of benefits on it. So I won't go through all this in keeping us on track here, but the point is retirement is very different. And in the past, people counted on a couple things. One, that they had a pension, right? Close to 70% of folks had a pension. No longer true. Social Security, there was no question about Social Security being stable. Now even the Fed's coming out and saying it's going to be insolvent at a certain point. And you could be the best financial planner on the planet. There's one thing we can't project: how long the client's going to live. And why is that important? Well, in retirement, they're no longer going to be getting an employer paycheck. And if they don't have a pension and they're not secure in Social Security, well, an annuity, a fixed index annuity, is the right way to go and a great complement to your existing life insurance offerings. So what are we doing, right, with an annuity, right? We're guarding against the client living to an advanced age. As I said, we can't predict. My mom had a friend that lived to 103 years old. Imagine if she retired at 65, right? How many years without an employer paycheck? We just don't know. Healthcare costs, right, through the roof. 63% of all bankruptcies have some medical-related issue, even for those folks who have health care. That's a huge issue. Inflation, right? We know the cost of food, cars, education. Your electric bill hasn't gone down, right? Your heating bill hasn't gone down. The point is that inflation, the cost of goods and services go up. The old wisdom was, well, to hedge inflation and to combat rising costs going up, you have to have a portfolio of stocks. But once again, think about that cartoon, right? If you're in a stock portfolio, well, there's the risk of a bear market or just being in at the wrong time and getting out at the wrong time. So that's the investment risk, right? Bear market is defined as a market downturn of 20% or more. Our job with a fixed index annuity is to maintain your client's lifestyle in retirement. And how do we do that? Similar to on the life insurance side in terms of how the credits work, right? So say your client puts in $100,000 and the market goes down. Well, their assets are protected. Clients, I hate losing money. I was just on the phone with my wife and we pulled out a bunch of money over the last couple of years in the market as the market's been going up. I even subscribe to it, right? That, as the market goes up, take some money off the table. So in case there's a downturn in a fixed index annuity, we help that client with their desire to preserve their assets. They'll never lose money being in a fixed index annuity due to a market downturn. Let me repeat that. You can see by this chart, the client will never lose money due to market movements. They can only gain money and never lose money. And so we all know that bear markets are followed by bull markets, right? So as the market goes back up, the clients get credits each and every year. If there's another down market, they're flat. They don't get a credit, but they're not down. They preserved all those gains. And then when the market peaks up again, they'll get another credit. This is the sizzle. This is the reason why clients buy a fixed index annuity, is for the growth. We have links to the index. The protection, the client will never, clients, remember, hate losing money. They hate paying taxes and they hate losing money in the market. They can't afford to do it, right? Especially if they're about to retire. Guarantees, this is the other sizzle, right? Guaranteed income. Jeff just showed you on our on the prosperity product, the FEG product, right? A guaranteed income stream. That's why you would want to use the personal income annuity. You get growth, you get protection, and you get some of the best guarantees in the marketplace today, right? And there's flexibility. I mean, there's other products that we can talk about, but maybe for another time on another university. But there's a lot of flexibility baked into the product selections and offerings, and there's also a liquidity feature as well. So the point being is, when you have that discussion with your client about financial planning, and I know you may be leading with life insurance, right? So family protection is very important, right? Planning to protect your heirs. But that could also be an enhanced death benefit in an annuity, right? Personal care. This could be a long-term care policy, or it could be an enhanced death benefit in an annuity, like the prosperity product, or Prosperity Elite, or our personal protection choice product. Guaranteed income, the most critical need that annuities solve, as well as accumulation and protection. So whatever that, however, always keep in mind this four corners offense for your clients, right? No matter how that conversation goes, know that Phoenix has you covered with a best-in-class platform of products and solutions. So if, I won't spend a lot of time on this, but if you want an exclusive limited distribution product that focuses on accumulation with up to a 15% premium bonus, uncapped strategies to harness the upside potential of the market, we've got that. I'm going to focus today on personal income annuity, which is dynamite. It's our max income strategy, and when you call Uncaford and you have a client that's looking for income, this is what they're going to refer you to. But then also, one of our fastest growing products, just as a side note, is personal protection choice. So think about that client that needs, maybe you got a client that needs help in all four areas. I don't have a pension. I don't believe in Social Security is going to be there for me. I never bought life insurance. I never bought long-term care. I won't talk maybe on another call, but personal protection choice has a income rider. It has a 2 out of 6 ADL rider. It has a nursing home rider that takes the income and multiplies it by up to 250% if the client's in a nursing home. And we have a family care, it's called an enhanced death benefit. It is the best enhanced death benefit in the business, and it pays out as a lump sum. So you've got a product that acts like annuity, acts like long-term care, and acts like a life insurance policy. So personal income annuity, why would we recommend this product? Well, because when your clients retire, they'll have things that are essential expenses, things like housing, medical. They will, we'll do that, and by the way, we'll do personal protection choice and personal retirement choice on the next webinar. I just was conversing here with Bill.
We'll do
on today's webinar.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, gotcha. So I'll go through some of the personal protection choice product as well. I
just want to hit them all.
Got it. I gotcha. So when a client retires, they'll have these expenses that don't care that your clients are retired. Housing, medical, food, right? You got to buy food every week. And can you mess around with the income source that covers these expenses? Absolutely not. You can't play around because these expenses are going to come each and every month, each and every year. So you have some choices. You need something that's protected, reliable, predictable. So you have a pension, you have Social Security, and you have annuity income. We've already established not everybody has a pension. Not everyone's comfortable with Social Security. So this is why you would use personal income annuity. And the product is for, it could be on one life. It could be on 2 lives. It is for your clients 0 to 85. We can accept qualified money, an IRA rollover, Roth IRA, transfer out of a 401k being rolled over. We can also accept CDs, cash out of a money market. It could be a brokerage account. So this is a very flexible product, and it's a simple story. The story is based on when does your client need the income, right? So if your client says, hey, look, Bill, I'm 65 years old and I want to retire immediately or in year 1, right? That would be income today, where what we do is we add some significant bonuses to the benefit base, 30% in the first year, 37.5% in the second year, and up to 45% in that third year. Now, once again, this is a bonus to the benefit base. It's not the cash value of the account. The insurance company wouldn't be able to be in business if we're adding 45% to their cash account. But actuarially, this turbocharges the income in those first 3 years. And then the roll-up, right? So if your client says, hey, look, I'm 60 and I'm retiring in 5 years, as an example, you would want to use income tomorrow because the client doesn't need income right away. They need it down the road. And what we do there is a 14%, staggering 14% simple roll-up each and every year, right? And the longer the client can defer, the higher their income can be. Why is this important? How would what's the context and why is income so important, right? Well, we've gone through that. And this is why, personal income annuity and fixed index annuities, they are the go-to annuity source or product source for guaranteed income. When a client buys an indexed annuity, 71% of the time they're buying it for guaranteed income. What you might not know, and that's kind of a well-known fact, what you might not know is when your clients do buy an annuity and then they activate that lifetime income, right, that guaranteed income stream, how long do they wait to do it? They only wait on average a little over 2 years, okay? So just to be clear, when they turn on that guaranteed income, they only wait a couple of years to do so. That is our sweet spot. Personal income annuity, income today, okay? I don't want to disparage our competitors, but, I just want to, the proof is in the pudding, so I want to show you the real numbers. This is why Andy and Bill and the Untitled team and FEG, they're, pumping personal income annuity, and so much assets are coming into this particular product because our benefit to the client, right, our value to the client is best in class. So these 3 competitors are huge annuity companies that you've heard the name, you know them well, and they're known for their income. And you can see here are, clients age 63, 65, 67, and 70. And here are 2 critical time periods. Wait 0. They don't wait to take the income. There's a 0 wait. They take the income right away. Phoenix allows clients to do that, and I know some of you, you may be doing a 72T out of a qualified plan, and you want to do that immediately. That's why you're using personal income annuity. Our competitors do not allow it. So, extremely flexible product. And then a wait 2, we just told you, right? That's the sweet spot, a 2-year wait. And you can see where our numbers are lining up versus our competitors. They're just head and shoulders above what's out there today, knowing that there's been an industry pullback. So we want to thank you for supporting personal income annuity. Here's what the quote looks like. So if you're new to doing annuities, the most powerful thing you can get in front of a client is a quote. Here's something for a male, age 65. You would place, their name, your name, pick the state. Is this on 1 life or 2? And how much are they putting in? I put 100 so we can figure out percentages. So here's the quote, by the way, shows both income today and income tomorrow. You do have to make that decision up front. Does my client want income today or tomorrow? All right, so if they go income today, we had a 30% bonus in year 1 to the base. That results in $5,668 per year for the rest of their lives, no matter what happens in the market, no matter how long they live. And here's that 45% bonus, right, which would generate over $6,800 per year. So they put in 100, they're going to get a rate of, they're going to get $6,800 a year. That's a 6.8% GMWB. That's what is referred to as a guaranteed minimum withdrawal benefit. Okay, client will get that each and every year for the rest of their lives. Income tomorrow. So this is that client that's waiting for income down the road. We do a 14% roll-up. So here's 14, another 14, and say they turn on the income in year 10. So the benefit base, which is there's no cash value, that doesn't increase their net worth, but the benefit base is $240,000. That would generate over $13,000 in income each and every year. That's 13%. What are you getting at a bank today? I dropped my daughter off at school. There's a bank and there's a banner that's been up that says celebration rates 1.1%. Okay, we're getting at a 13% GMWB. Once again, this is the sweet spot. This is why your leadership team here, FEG, is counting on personal income annuity to maximize your client's income. The RMD, right? So with qualified money, we talk about rollovers, right? When your client turns 70 and a half, they have to take that required minimum distribution each and every year out of their qualified plan. It's IRS code. It's a law. That's something that they have to do. So I'm going to give you an advanced strategy. If you're new, there's a lot of moving pieces to this. Don't worry about it. The more you're on these calls, the more you're going to get it. But for those of you who have done annuity business before, this will be quite evident, the benefit to both you and your client. So here we have a client that is 69 years old. They have $275,000 that they're starting with, right? That's not out of the realm of possibility if they're doing a rollover, right? So we know for the 69-year-old, when they turn 70 and a half, they have to start taking out their required minimum distributions. So we have this great liquidity feature, a 10% penalty-free withdrawal each and every year. So here's the advanced technique. Instead of turning on the income right away to satisfy that RMD, let's use this penalty-free withdrawal each and every year to satisfy that required minimum distribution. So you can see in the last year here, right, it's $9,500 plus that's being taken out. So all along the way, we're satisfying that IRS code requirement, okay? And in fact, that's over $88,000 in withdrawals to satisfy that RMD. Then in the 11th year, we say, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Client, let's turn on, let's activate your contract. Let's activate that guaranteed income stream because this is all about income. When they do that, it'll be over it's almost $26,000. So let's reflect on that for a minute. Their last withdrawal was $9,500. Okay, they've taken out $88,000 in penalty frees to satisfy that IRS RMD requirement. Okay, the client's now 80. They're turning on a almost $26,000 income stream. That's 9.4% after $88,000 has been pulled out. These are all guaranteed numbers right here. These quotes on income, these are all guaranteed. So a huge leap for the client, right? That's almost a triple, right? From the $9,500 to the $25,000. They've almost tripled their income. And the other part is, let's look at the accumulation value. So they put in $275,000. They've taken out all this money to satisfy the RMD. What's left in the account? $274,000. So that shows you the power also of the accumulation side of our personal income annuity. And for another time, I'll go through, Credit Suisse and what we're doing on the accumulation side. Here's just a look at what's in the illustration. So if you wanted to go beyond just a quote, this particular client used the 2-year Credit Suisse Tactical Multi-Asset Index. Okay, that's an option to use. And we show the worst year, the best 10-year, and the most recent 10-year. I always like to start with the worst 10-year period, where 100,000, worst case using Credit Suisse, grew to 140. That's just a little shy of 5% per year after fees. Pretty darn good for a worst case scenario, right? Best 10-year period, 100,000, in this income product. This is the income product. The best case scenario, 100,000 has grown to 192.8. That's a little over 8% per year after fees. So let me just kind of summarize this for you, right? You've got a fixed index annuity. You're going to guarantee income for the life of your client. You're going to guarantee that they're never going to lose money due to the market being down, and potentially almost double their assets in a fixed index annuity. 8% return after fees is almost unheard of in an annuity, right? So that is why that these products are not your grandpa's annuities. They've been tweaked, and they are very, very consumer friendly. And so, Bill, you wanted me to, so here's some numbers. You want me to go through PPC a little bit?
Absolutely.
Yeah, hang tight. Let me get through some of this. And here we go. So another product to consider, I told you up front about that product that has multiple riders, right? So if your client needs help in multiple areas, maybe they don't want to go through underwriting. Maybe they think that long-term care is too expensive, right? So we've created the Personal Protection Choice product. This, while personal income annuity is our bestseller by far, this has been our fastest growing product, over the course of the last 6 to 8 months because of all these different features. So what's great is that you can dial in what's most important, right? One size doesn't fit all. So you have an income rider, 2 out of 6 ADLs, a nursing home rider under health care, and you've got the best enhanced death benefit that acts like life insurance, right, baked into the product. But you can choose what the client needs, right? So maybe they already have life insurance. So you can go income and the personal care, right? Or if they don't have, maybe they have a long-term care policy, so they need income and the enhanced death benefit, or maybe they need all three. So it's up to you, right? You do have to make that choice up front. The great part is that the income story is the same, where it's income today and income tomorrow. Now, the care protection, okay? So if your client, I won't go through the 2 out of 6 ADLs. I'll just talk about the nursing home, right? And actually, this is an old slide, so forgive me here 1 second. This is an old slide. We no longer have these considerations. They've been eliminated from the application. So let's apologize for that. So let's just look at, if your client is confined to a nursing home, we take that guaranteed income, okay, and we ratchet it up to 250%. So in the time that they need it most, when their expenses are going to be high and they need income to pay for that nursing home, we take their guaranteed income from the contract and multiply it by 250%, available for up to 5 years. And by the way, you can do this on 1 life, you can do it on 2, and it doesn't have to be consecutive years. Maybe the client's in the nursing home for 2 years, they get better, they go home. What happens? Well, the income reverts back to the original guaranteed income, and then they would have 3 years left in their back pocket should they ever be confined to a nursing home again. Another sizzle on this, I know you guys are real familiar with life insurance. So we have something that acts like life insurance, but it's baked into the annuity. And it's called the Family Protection Option. It rolls up at 10% up to age 70, and then from 5% from 71 to 85. And here's the key. So that's a great roll-up, right? So that's a great client benefit. But what's even better is if the client should pass away, it's paid as a lump sum to the beneficiaries. I'll repeat that. It's paid out to the kids and the grandkids in a lump sum. No 4-pay, no 5-pay, no dial back because they're taking that out as a lump sum. It's all available. So incredibly rich benefit for your clients. So let's take a look at how this might work. Here's Nancy. She's 70 years old. She has 100 grand, and she's going to opt for all three forms of protection: income, family, and personal care. So that's the enhanced death benefit and the nursing home rider. So in year 3, if she was to activate the income, she'd be looking at $74.90 in terms of guaranteed income for the rest of her life. So that's a 7.5% or 7.49% GMWB. Say, for example, in the 7th year, she was confined to a nursing home. Well, that guaranteed income amount would be ratcheted up to $22,000. Her annual care benefit would be over $22,000 per year, available for up to 5 years. That's incredible. And then the death benefit, right? If Nancy was to pass away at age 80, 10 years down the road, and she did not turn on any of the income yet, right? Her beneficiaries would get a lump sum check from you for $155,000. So that's how that works. Let's see if there's anything else here that's relevant. Let me give you a sales idea with personal protection choice. I call this the Social Security solver. Here you have a husband age 65 and a wife age 62. Their guaranteed income is coming from Social Security. $2,500 a month from Social Security, that's their benefit, or $30,000 a year. Issue though, the husband passes away. The problem for the widow is that her benefits will be reduced from $2,500 a month down to $1,500 a month. If the wife lives to her life expectancy, so remember she's 62, if she lives out to her life expectancy, which is age 86, there's a huge problem because she's seen this reduction in her Social Security benefit. She'll have a shortfall of $12,000 per year, and that's per year. She's going to live to 86. That's a shortfall of $288,000 of missing income from Social Security. Okay, so we want to solve for that. So this is the Social Security solver. We are going to use our penalty-free to, here's a female, age 62. We're going to use that penalty-free to make up that shortfall after her husband passes away for 8 years. So that's a lot of money being taken out of the policy. And in the 8th year, we're going to turn on that guaranteed income amount. So stop and look at this for a second. So we've made up the difference for 8 years, okay, $12,000. So she's been made whole through the annuity, through the liquidity feature. Then in the 8th year, we're turning on her guaranteed income. It's a leap. It's not quite a double, but it goes from $12,000 to over $17,000 a year when she turns 70. So that's just a home run. Now, if she were to be confined to a nursing home, we take that number and multiply it by 250%. She'd be getting $43,925 per year up to 5 years if she was in a or confined to a nursing home. If she couldn't perform 2 out of 6 ADLs, that number is a little bit lower, but still over 30 grand. So I think you can see this product, very, very flexible, great income even after using some income up front, very rich benefit with PPC. You get a nursing home benefit, 2 out of 6 ADL, and an enhanced death benefit as well. And I think that's an old note. We haven't made any changes to the product. I think that's it, Bill. Is there, let me hop out of here and just go to our slide sorter to see if there's anything else that I might want to cover.
And then let's take a few questions.
Okay, why don't we do that? I'll turn that over to you.
Let's take a few questions here. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay. All right, seems like we have a lot of questions, and we have a lot of people from around the United States on board with us, so thank you. If you have any questions, go to your question box, type them in now, whether it's on the F&G product and or the Phoenix product. What is the minimum and maximum amount of monies someone could put into an annuity, and are the parameds required? Sorry for the dumb question. There is never a dumb question, Michael, in our business. When it comes to annuity business, primarily there are no medical parameds required. When it comes to annuities that we might be looking at adding an additional rider based on a critical or a chronic illness, of course, we are not going to allow a client to have a chronic illness and go into an annuity just to get the doubler. So on the surface, it's a two-sided question. The answer is no, they can be in any condition to have an annuity, and they can be in any physical condition to start a guaranteed income. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be able to qualify for a living benefits. As far as the minimum production,
15,000.
15,000 with Phoenix and 10,000 with F&G, and we have companies that go down below at 5,000. It's going to be very rare that you find that, because most of your numbers on annuities are right around $60,000 to $70,000 an average. And once again, Michael, there is never a dumb question. So as everybody continues to add their questions in, we'll continue to go forward. This question is, if we bring a client to you, can you help us through with this, and would we split the commission case? This is another great question from Michael. Anytime you bring a client to our back office service division, and that would be Unkefer & Associates / Freedom Equity Group, we do not require, because of the help that we're going to give you, to split that case. These are your clients, they're your cases. We are here to service you and give you the best possible solutions and all the right material so that you can go out and utilize that material to close those clients. And Michael, you probably haven't realized this, but if you give us enough information on the big picture of what the client's really looking for, we'll make you a nice little portfolio in full color. We'll put their name on it, we'll put their income on it, we'll put their when they might want to take that guaranteed income out, and it's going to be in full color, and they're going to look at that and know that there was a lot of time and effort put into that. So a simple answer, Michael, is no. Whenever you call us for help, there is not a commission split here at the home office of FEG and or Unkefer & Associates. The next question here is, once again, what is the number over at our back office support division at Unkefer & Associates? And it's 1-800-523-5851. The next question here is, can we go back to previous slide on the simple interest and explain the footnotes? So let's see if we can find that slide real quick on simple interest so that we can explain the footnotes on the Phoenix product.
Yeah, so bear with us. We're going back here, and I'm not sure. Oh, maybe I think I know. So the roll-up being simple interest. Let's see. So we're in slide sorter, and let's see. So here's where we're talking about the simple interest of 14%. So the key to the footnotes relate to the fact that the benefit base, the bonuses and the roll-ups apply to what's called the benefit base and not the account value. So, clients get messed up all the time, like, oh, I'm gonna put $100,000 in and I'm gonna get $145,000 from the insurance company. Once again, just to repeat, we would be out of business if we were to guarantee 45% growth in the third year. It's just not possible or feasible. You've heard, things too good to be true. That would be too good to be true. What we do is we add a benefit bonus to the benefit base. So the benefit base gets a bonus which impacts the income. Actuaries use the benefit base to then calculate the income. So the simple interest roll-up, right? So instead of compounding at 14% per year, it's a 14% simple roll-up per year. Now, because the client can, let's just go to this slide here 1 second. So the other part of that is the client's going to pay a fee for this income. The client's going to pay a fee for this income, right? So each year they wait, the higher the income can be. So we've adjusted, or we calculate the fee, which is 95 basis points, or 0.95%, So it's less than 1% fee for the client to receive guaranteed income, using Credit Suisse on the upside, right? That's all kind of baked into that fee. But if they, if they turn on the income down the road, they're getting a higher benefit, so the fee is going to be higher. So that's the other point of that particular footnote, is that the rider fee may increase each year, and at the end of the 10-year contract, right? If the client hasn't elected the rider yet, well, it really depends on what the macroeconomic environment is. Maybe the cost of guarantees is going to be lower. Maybe the cost of the guarantees is going to be higher. We just don't know what that's going to be. So the insurance company may increase or decrease the fee based on where interest rates are down the road in the future. So I hope that helps. Let me get it back to our questions here. Get the dashboard questions. Okay, so that was that one, Bill.
Okay, let's go to another question, and just keep the questions going, everyone. This is really helpful because I guarantee you, if you're not thinking about it, somebody out there on this throughout the United States is, and if those people are not thinking about it, I guarantee you your clients are going to ask it. Are those illustration numbers primarily based on qualified funds money? Couldn't qualified funds money illustrate differently? And can you use the same Phoenix PIA for both types of monies? Both qualified and non-qualified funds illustrate exactly the same. The only difference now, remember, is on qualified funds, you haven't paid taxes on the monies yet unless you've taken the time to educate the clients, which we're going to have a whole session on this coming up in the near future, and really show the clients the benefit, if they have the time, to really convert that from a qualified annuity to a qualified Roth IRA annuity that they'll never have to pay taxes on again. Part two of that question, Ed, is can you use the same Phoenix PIA for both types of monies?
Yes.
And the answer is, of course, yes.
Absolutely.
On both qualified and non-qualified monies. Upon the death of the insured, is a bonus included in the death benefit?
So no. So once again, I think maybe I addressed that with the previous question, where the bonuses, at least on this product, right, apply to the benefit base and not the cash value. So there's no increase in net worth, no increase in their account value. Those bonuses on this particular product, we have other products that have premium bonuses, but it just applies to the benefit base and not so it would not count towards the death benefit.
Right.
Whatever's in the account would go to the kids.
Because in this particular product, it's all about income. And I'll tell you what, this product really sizzles when you're working with a client that might be in their mid to late 60s, maybe even 70, who might be drawing money out of their CD at a rate where they're just guessing, and where we could really move that money immediately and give them a guaranteed income without waiting that 365 days immediately, and just double, triple, if not quadruple their income. But in this case, on the bonus, once again, it's for the income purposes. But on our other annuities that we have, like with the F&G, like with American Equity that we're all familiar with, once we give that bonus to you, it is a part of the death benefit and cannot be taken away. So if that client literally did die the next day, and let's say that we bonus that product 10%, that bonus is a part of that accumulation value. So very good question again. Is the care protection available in the state of California? Unfortunately, Louis, it still is not available in the state of California. Doesn't mean that Phoenix and a lot of other companies are not working hard. We just live in one of those states in California that we absolutely drag our feet, even though it's the right thing for the client. It's just not a state that moves fast in any area of life insurance, especially when it comes to these situations. But the minute it is approved in California, we will notify everybody. I'll go to the highest building in the United States and yell it off the top for everybody throughout the world to hear. Let's take a look at a 36-year-old has 401k of 100,000. What is the best recommendation for him? Well, personally, Arcelia, my best recommendation for him is to quit paying into the 401k and start paying into a personal retirement plan for them for an annuity, one that's going to grow tax deferred, triple compounding, and instead of starting it as a qualified IRA, start it as a Roth IRA and pay taxes on it now, so all those accumulated gains can be tax-free forever. Because when is a person able to pay taxes? While they're employed or when they're in retirement? While you're employed, you have the ability to pay the tax man whatever percentage of tax that you owe. When you're retired, wouldn't you like to get all of your money tax-free and not have to worry about giving 20, 30, 40? And some of us predict that in the future, it could be even higher than that. So when you really take a look at it, at someone at 36 years old, I would max out a Roth IRA and get that tax deferred, triple compounding, and then take a look if they have more money besides the minimum allowed. And the minimum allowed at starting in 2015, is it still $5,000 for the Roth, or did it go to $6,000? $5,000 for the Roth IRA per year, $6,000 for ages 50 and above. And if they have even more monies to put into it, then we will look into other avenues. But putting it into, once again, a 401k that's going to be fully taxed at a tax rate that we can not predict, but I can tell you based on past performance of history that our government's not getting in less debt, they're getting in more debt, so their appetite's going to get larger. We always have to look for taxable solutions, and so that's my answer on that one. If I have a client with some question, the 67-year-old male in this example, 167 in an old 401k and IRA, he is weighing the difference in the benefits of whether or not he should purchase a qualified or a unqualified annuity based on future tax suggestions. Well, here, and we're going to kind of bounce this off of both myself and Ed. Ed, he's 67 years of age. He can move it into an annuity. One, move it into an annuity and protect it from any downside risk would be my #1 suggestion for that client, so he doesn't wake up one day and find out that that money is not the value where it's at today. And he can still get into higher advantageous interest rates and without having to worry about the loss of any of those qualified funds. Or now, whether or not he's going to move it from a qualified IRA to a qualified annuity or a qualified IRA and move it into a Roth annuity, this is a client who has to make a decision. Am I going to start using the money today? Do I have the ability to wait out the period of time to where I'm not going to use up my full $167,000 of principal over the first 5 years? And if he's 67 and he's saying, well, what if I paid the taxes on it today or spread it over a period of time and then allowed each one of those buckets to grow tax-deferred triple compounding? Can I take that money out tax-free later? The answer is yes. But here's even more of an important question that you might want to ask that client. How would he like to pass that money on to his beneficiaries? Taxable or tax-free? So, Ed, is there anything that you want to add to that?
That's perfect. No, that's perfect.
Okay. So as we continue onwards here, boy, we have a lot of great questions, and this is why we're having this Annuity University. Provided someone's in their 30s and 40s, specifically, they want an annuity, what type of product, accumulation, then income prior to the age of 60 would you suggest? Well, I would suggest the Credit Suisse product. And or I would suggest the product that's going to give the highest potential rate of return over a longer period of time, and right now that product happens to be the Credit Suisse.
It's using the Credit Suisse strategy. So all of these products, whether it be personal protection choice, whether it be the personal income annuity or personal retirement choice, we have that new Credit Suisse strategy. I didn't go through it today, but well, I did I showed you that illustration on personal income annuity where you're almost doubling the client's assets, or in the case of personal protection choice, you actually double the client's assets. So that's a tremendous play because, number one, what Credit Suisse has put together is extremely diversified. It has non-correlated asset classes, and it's built for accumulation and maximizing the upside potential.
I'll tell you what, we have a great group of people on here, and you're just giving us a lot of great questions, and we're giving you exact answers, so I'm truly excited. Let's take a look at this one. A client resides in a state where the benefits are not available. Now, some states and some companies look at this differently, but what if that client, Ed, is physically on the soil and they're writing that annuity where the living benefits are available, and they happen to go back to a state that it's not available, or they move to a state that it's not available? Yeah. Are those living benefits active?
Yeah, so that's a great question, right? So it used to, I'll be upfront with you guys. It used to be a slam dunk, in terms of cross-border sales. The insurance commissioners have just tightened up so much on that. So if you're going to do a cross-border sale, the client has to have property in that area. They have to have an address there. The agent, you guys have to be, licensed in that state as well. And if that's the case, then you can do a cross-border sale. It's much more regulated than it ever has. So that would be the number one reason to do it is the client has a residence, say, in Florida, right?
Right.
And you go down to Florida. Say they're in New York and Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they can go down to Florida if they have an address there, and you can write the business in Florida as opposed to New York, which is tough.
But once again, if they reside in the state today that it is available in, and they move to a state that it's not available in, those riders will follow them to those states because they did legally write it in that state. And remember, if you're ever going to write an annuity, always do the right thing. If we're allowing you to write it and we say that you have to be standing on that soil, then make sure you're standing on that soil in that state, and they sign it in whatever city. Don't have them sign it in the city that they're physically not in. Let's just always do the right thing. Here's a great question from Mr. Luong. A client's tax advisor is wanting me to advise on all fees involved with the annuity. Aside from the fees involved with riders, are there any other fees that I need to disclose? And the answer is no. There are no other fees that a client will pay on an indexed annuity unless it is tied directly to a rider. 100% of their money goes to work for them day one, and it's going to continue that way. We are not fee-based planners. We don't take their accumulation value and say, oh, by the way, 2%, we're going to take out 2% every year. And as the account value grows up, we're going to take 2% of that. And if the account value goes down, we're going to take 2% of that. So be precise in your answer. If it's not associated with the rider fee and it's not in print, the answer is no, that there is no fees on the annuity itself. The next question is with clients, this is a great question. With clients, there's always questions of liquidity. I have a friend who wants to invest 401k monies in annuity but needs it to be liquid. Can this be addressed? It can be addressed very easily, Anthony. If the client, first off, you have to ask the client, you got to do your due diligence. You have to ask the right questions. Well, what do you want the money for? Or better yet, instead of being that specific, how much of it do you want to be liquid. I mean, if he has $200,000 in the 401k and he tells you that in 2 years I'm going to take that 401k and I'm going to buy a house, I'm telling you, do not put the client into an annuity. That is not what it's designed for. Annuities are designed for long-term gains, but if he's telling you that I might need 5% or 10% out of it a year, is it suitable? It's more than suitable. If he says, I don't know, I might need to let it sit there for a few years, can we take a look at maybe an annuity that might have a ratchet effect? We might have to go outside the box and get one that maybe it's 10% liquidity this year, and if they don't use it, it goes to 20 to 30 to 40, like with one of our companies that we all on this call have done business with like with National Western. So Anthony, it's really about the client, but I'm telling you, if he came to you and said, I'm buying a house in 2 years with my 401k, is it a good place to put my money into the annuity? My answer would be absolutely not. So how do we get access to Super Agent Tools? Jeffrey Taylor, just call that number that Unkerfer provided. You have to be an agent of Freedom Equity Group, and you're going to have more access to more information and more data than you've ever felt possible. This is going to be a recorded session. It will be up on the back office of our Freedom Equity Group website. So Gemma, yes, and we do have this presentation, and we can train on it in San Diego. Referring back to the Phoenix Fixed Indexed Annuity, and this question I'm going to refer back over to Ed, my counterpart, regarding suitability. Does a client who wants to roll over 50 to 100,000 and they have an emergency fund of at least 50,000 set aside for rollovers in order for Phoenix Underwriting to state that this is a suitable investment? So what the client is asking is, if they have 50 to 100,000 that they want to invest, but they have another $50,000 of accessible liquid money, approximately how much would Phoenix say is suitable for them to put in this annuity? Now, my answer is, whatever Phoenix's number is, if it's 25 or 50, then put the other 25 or 50 with F&G. It's not the fact of whether it's suitable or not for a client to be able to put all of their monies into an annuities. It's whether or not they're going to put it all into one place or one specific annuity company. But how would you like to answer that question?
Yeah, I think, if you go to phoenixsalesnet.com, phoenixsalesnet.com, and go to there's a suitability FAQ. So Phoenix will require you to make sure that after the sale of the annuity, there are monies set aside, because as Bill's gone through, right, there are surrender charges, and that's a great example. Somebody's looking to buy a house, absolutely. This is a little bit illiquid for somebody who's about to buy a house. So 50,000. So I just had this morning. Ran a quote for somebody here in Texas, right? Their mom is 71 years old, right? And there's a little grid. She needs to have 50,000 liquid at that age. So I don't have all of them memorized, but it's anywhere from 20,000, 25,000, depending. Obviously, the younger the client, the less liquidity they need. As their age goes up, it then gets into the $50,000 range. So in your case, depending on the client's age and their total assets, we're going to want to see some liquid assets outside of the annuity. Those can be CDs, money markets, mutual funds. It could be a a qualified plan if they're over 59 and a half. Cash value of life insurance outside of the surrender charge. Other annuities outside of the surrender charge can all be counted. Let's see if there's anything else there. So it really depends on the client's age, and if you can go to the phoenixsalesnet.com, you can dig that information up, particular to your client's situation.
Okay, next question. I really love this question. At a high level, can you give me an example say a 45-year-old has $250,000 in a 401k. What things would you do to roll over some or all of that into annuity just to get your thought process? Well, Michael, here's what I'd do. First off, I wouldn't go for all $250,000 into the 401k. I would first gain your client's trust. I would probably advise them to move maybe 100 or 150,000 into an indexed annuity, which is allowed to handle qualified funds, to show them the performance, and then allow them to get used to it, because eventually, once they see that that balance really does go up and it doesn't go down and play this roller coaster ride that really stresses out a client, and they realize, because they start self-teaching themselves a little bit more about their monies, and they realize that they have an income stream guarantee over here and not one over here in a mutual fund in a 401k, it's really about earning their trust. So in my personal opinion would be, don't go for all the 250,000. Just get 25, get 50, get 100,000. Let them get used to the annuity, and I guarantee you that you'll do more business with them in the future. The next question here is there, to make it clear on fees, is there fees from the account balance and not the income account when it comes to, where do the fees come out? The account balance on the rider or the income account?
Yeah, great question. So the rider fee of 0.95% is based on that benefit base, but it comes out of the account value. So the two, so it does not impact the income. So if a client turns on an income rider and say they're getting 10 grand a year in income, that is income after fees. So the fee will never interrupt their guaranteed income stream, but the fee comes out of the client's account value. Now, the other part of that is, if the client should ever run out of money for whatever reason, they live to 130 and they've depleted their account, well, then there's no more fees. They keep getting the guarantee. That's the beauty about this, is they could live to an advanced age, deplete their account value. We're going to still pay that $10,000, and yet there's no fees coming out of the account.
All right, very good. Next question. Please explain and make clear what is a qualified and a non-qualified money. Well, Sherry, it's very simple. Non-qualified monies is monies that you've already paid taxes on. Qualified funds is monies that you have not paid taxes on yet, but the IRS knows every penny that you have in the qualified account. And even if you're at a tax bracket and getting that offset while you have the ability to pay taxes, you do not know what the tax bracket's going to be in the future for that qualified account. So the simple explanation that I'd give to your clients if they ask is, qualified funds is not monies that you haven't paid on taxes on yet, but you will in the future, or your significant other, or your kids and their grandkids. And at the rate our economy is going, it's not going to be at the tax rates that we are at today. And non-qualified funds is money you pay taxes on. You can do whatever you want with it, spend it, do whatever you want with it. And that's as simple as it gets, Sherry, in that scenario. The next question, what scenario would dictate money into an annuity and an IUL product, and how to split available monies? Well, that's a very good question, Michael, and that's going to be determined on the client, of course, their age, of course, their health, because a lot of times a client can't qualify for an IUL. So what would be the next best step? Maybe it might be an annuity. And it's also going to dictate, how much money they're actually going to put into the product. So that one is kind of an open-ended answer, but it was kind of an open-ended question because we really need more specifics. A lot of times they might do both. They might do an annuity and an IUL just to have, they always have that saying, never put all your eggs in one basket. Well, Now they have the best of both worlds. They have an annuity over here, getting potential higher advantageous interest rates with no downside risk, and they have an IUL over here that has the death benefits, the living benefits, the index benefits. So maybe you do both. Once again, to gain access to super agent tools, you have to be an agent with Freedom Equity Group and call Untitled and Associates. And let me give everybody that number one more time on Untitled and Associates. It's 1-800-523-5851. Once again, it's 1-800-523-5851. Very good question. This one was kind of a trick question. He was surprised that I recommended the 36-year-old put money into a Roth IRA. Why not an IUL? Also, how do you roll over a Roth IRA into an annuity? Well, once again, Michael, another great question. Michael, and I love your questions. One, because I didn't know the health of the client of a 36-year-old. Would I personally put my money into an IUL rather than a Roth IRA? Yes, because I'm restricted on how much I can put into a Roth IRA. But a lot of times people get emotionally attached to putting money into qualified accounts or having large sums of money sitting inside of an account. So sometimes it's just easier to move the money from one account to an account that's just going to give them a little bit more tax-free basis. And a lot of times clients don't understand the value of an IUL. They think of it as a death benefit policy. They don't think of it as all the other benefits that you have inside of it. And how do you roll over a Roth IRA to an annuity? The same way that you would roll it from a non-qualified account or a qualified account to a qualified account. All you would do is roll it over with the same forms from a qualified account to a qualified Roth IRA. But remember, by rolling it over, it creates a taxable consequence. Now that taxable consequence can be, you can roll it over in segments so you can spread out that taxable consequence. But here's another benefit. If you're going to roll it over, why don't you roll it over to a product that's going to give you a bonus and help and let the insurance company offset some of that tax or maybe all of that tax on that product. That's why we have the back office of Untitled and Associates, and you have people like me on this end who can really help you brainstorm to do the right thing for the clients all the time and really help them understand. Wouldn't it be nice if the insurance companies paid for some of those taxes that might be due by offsetting it with a bonus that the clients can receive, especially a vested bonus? So there's a lot of ways out there, Michael. It's all about the clients. We're only got enough time to take a couple more phone calls because we said we was going to keep this at 2 hours. In this case, we have a 67-year-old client. He does plan on using the money right away. And the question is, Mr. Luong, right away is take all the money and spend it right away, or take all the money and create a guaranteed income stream right away. If it's to take all the money and spend it right away, wherever it's at, have him take it and spend it. Don't put it into an annuity. If it's take all the money and put it into a guaranteed income stream that he can never outlive so he can base his lifestyle on that guaranteed income, he knows exactly where he's going to be at every single day of the rest of his life, and he can plan his lifestyle around that, then I'd put it into the annuity because we can turn that and flip that switch on immediately with the Phoenix products. And I'm going to take one more question. My dad's 83. He was in the market. Well, I took him out of the market. I wonder why. Right now, I put the funds into securities. Any advice? Yes. No 83-year-old individual should have a penny of their money's at risk. Put them into something that gives them no risk, that gives them a guaranteed minimal rate of return, and gives them some type of upside gains with no downside risk. Absolutely, an 83-year-old does not deserve to lose a penny of their hard-earned dollars that they've earned or accumulated over their lifetime. So with that, wow, we have so many more questions. We could spend the next hour here. Matter of fact, everybody's had great questions. Matter of fact, everybody's got a lot of great questions here. But we just can't answer it all. It's straight up. We've spent our entire 2 hours with everybody here. We look forward to the next IUL University because we took so many of these great questions, because I thought it was important. Our next IUL University, once again, we're going to tackle the Phoenix product. We're going to show you more online solutions. Use the software as much as possible. We're going to attack the FEG product. Use that software to show you how to use it, so show you some back office tools, and we're going to show you some very simple client presentations, and we're going to dig deep into the Wharton study of annuities for business and the Harvard studies. And you know, Harvard's one of the greatest colleges in the world and one of the oldest outside of Oxford. And you know, it's great to have that credible material to take with you on the Wharton study of business on annuities and the Harvard study of why people should have a guaranteed income stream that they can never outlive. That's going to bring a tremendous amount of credibility along with the company brochures. But once again, everybody's been fabulous on the call. Your questions have been spot on. Hopefully our answers have been direct. We appreciate you taking this time out on a Saturday. Now go out and enjoy. No, matter of fact, don't go out and enjoy your families. Go out, write a couple $100,000 of annuities today, and then enjoy your families tomorrow. Have a great week. We'll let you know when the next IUL University is going to be set, and I appreciate every single one of you. And I know Ed Federici appreciates it. I know Andy Unkerfer appreciated it, and I know Jeff Swick and FEG and all of the Phoenix companies appreciated all of the time that you guys have taken out today. Look forward to our next not the IUL, but our Annuity University coming up within the next 30 days. It's another one that you're not going to want to miss. Everybody have a great day.